Approaches for interpreting data are largely dependent on the type of data that's being analyzed. In scientific studies, a researcher will select the type of data that is analyzed based on their research question as part of the scientific process. During the scientific process, a researcher has a hypothesis, designs an experiment to test that hypothesis, and then gathers data to be analyzed to get the results of that test of the hypothesis. And so data collection becomes very important in terms of the design of the experiment. In paleontology, for example, a lot of our data comes from the fossils themselves. So, for example, if we want to know the relationships in the tree of life of a fossil, we can take the shape of the fossils themselves and code that into a computer as a series of zeros and ones and compare that to other animals. And the computer will figure out the most likely position for where that fossil will be located. If we're interested in comparing the functional abilities of a particular structure in the fossil record, we can actually create 3D models of those fossils and subject them to forces in the computer to see how those structures behave under stress. If we're interested in just analyzing the shape of a fossil, we can take measurements or even computerized images of the fossils and compare them using data analysis software. Or if we're interested in simply describing the fossil, which is sort of the foundation of our science, describing fossils that are new to science, we can look at the morphology. We have to photograph that morphology as data, describe it verbally, and then publish that in a publication. So there's a great deal of variety of different data types in science in general and in paleontology, and the type of data interpretation you do really depends on the data that is analyzed.